Happy New Year!
Welcome everyone to this extremely exciting event with Evie Meg, where she is releasing her first ever book, her debut book, My Nonidentical Twin. And we're going to be chatting with Evie today all about it. You're going to get to learn all about her and what's going to be going on in the book. And when you purchase your book, you'll be able to read about it all yourself. So I think we should just get straight on into it and introduce to you Evie, who's waiting very patiently, but also not at the same time. Yeah, here's Evie. I hope. I'm not controlling anything. I'm just saying words and hoping it all goes well. But Evie, how excited are you about the book? Come on, you need to talk to us about this.
Oh, crazy excited. It's actually so weird that, like, people are going to read something that I've written about my life and hopefully find it interesting and learn things and just really enjoy it. But I don't know, it's so weird, like, actually having something, like, physical to hold and, like, just having it sat right there is so weird. Evie! What are you doing?
Yeah, because you've been writing this book for about 8 months now, is that right?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Fuck you.
And when you first started, what was the actual reason for you starting to write a book? Was this something that you sort of knew you wanted to do?
Sort of. I mean, to be honest, it was the book company that had seen my videos, and they came to me and said, "We've seen your story, and we think it'll make a really good book." And at first, I thought it was like a prank, like a scam thing, so I wasn't really sure. It almost seemed like too good to be true, but it was just like it was just such a dream talking to them about it. It just didn't feel real. It was crazy.
And is it a little bit scary that sort of eventually thousands of people are going to have your book that essentially contains your life inside of it? And it's just like basically, well, it is an autobiography of your life and just what's been going on since you were a young child up to now, your very, very early 20s. It's even mad to me thinking about that.
It is a little bit scary because there are things in here which I had to think for a long time about whether to include it, and like now it's out there forever. But I chose to do that, and I did it for a reason. So, Evie, it is scary, but it's really really exciting. Hello!
It's that exciting. I agree. Yeah. So it's called My Nonidentical Twin.
Yes.
I know, roughly why you chose to call it that. But for anyone who hasn't quite understood it yet, could you explain why you called it My Nonidentical Twin?
Yeah, so when they first gave me the offer of writing a book about Tourette's, I knew from like day one that I wanted me and my Tourette's to be portrayed as like two separate people, because like when my Tourette's makes me say things and stuff, it's usually stuff that I would never say. Um, and me and my non-identical twin are very, very different. So that's where we came up with the idea from. Evie!
Now, Evie, we know that there's a lot of stuff in the book that isn't just about Tourette's, because all the Tourette stuff is going to be so helpful to people, but you've also written about a bunch of other things. Can you tell us about some of those?
Yeah, of course. So, mental health and mental health difficulties have been a part of my life for a really, really long time. So I was super open about it in my book because you can make videos about it online, but there's only so much that you can get across and so much that you can try and tell people in like, 1 minute videos. So I was super
Yeah.
so I was super open about it in my book, and I've also included some like tips and strategies that I picked up over the years of struggling to share with other people that would hopefully help. It was scary sharing some of the things that I did, but hopefully it will be worth it. Evie, cock.
And it's such a massive thing to sort of put all of your past experiences into a book to help people. But I think that's even more sort of exciting and more incentive for people to go and check out the book, because you really don't get that from many people. A lot of people are too scared to do that kind of thing, whereas actually we know you quite well. You're absolutely not too scared to do that kind of thing. You go for it, and then sort of
Yeah,
suffer the consequences sometimes if it does backlash, but it hopefully it never does backlash. And I'm sure everyone's going to learn a lot from those specific chapters in the book, because we know that this pandemic has caused so many different sort of mental health problems in people, and we've all had to deal with
yeah,
different things ourselves, as well as people that had stuff to deal with before the pandemic. So I think just talking about that openly and giving people that opportunity to relate is massive. So well done for that, can I just say.
thank you. Yeah, it was something that I thought about for a long time, especially there's a chapter where I'm trying to break the stigma of delusions. And I thought a really long time about whether to include that, because that's something that not really anyone knows about apart from my family. It so that was like a big deal. But it's a really important topic, and like you said, most people are too scared to talk about it, just because for some reason talking about mental health is scarier than talking about your physical health, and it shouldn't really be like that. Um, Evie, so hopefully this changes that a little bit. Fuck you.
Oh,
Amazing.
and there it goes. And you were saying as well, like the thing you mentioned about delusions. There are a few things in this book that people absolutely have never heard before, that you've never talked about on social media or anything like that. Is that quite scary for you as
Yeah,
well?
definitely. Like I, I wanted this book to be as raw as possible, but also because I wrote it during the lockdowns, this book became my therapy because I wasn't able to see my real therapist. So I wrote everything down in this book, knowing that like thousands of people were going to read it, and hopefully they would find it therapeutic as well. Fuck your bum!
Good
And one
stuff.
last thing I just wanted to ask as well, because I know we got a lot of videos from when you were doing it. You were recording an audiobook version of this as well. Do you know what's happening with that at all? Because that's very exciting.
Yeah, so it's going to be available on Audible, for people who prefer an audiobook, and also it's very like authentic because obviously when you're reading the book written down, it's it's very different to actually hearing me say it, and also the audiobook has kept all of my ticks in. So I was obviously ticking a lot when we were recording it, but they've kept it all in, so it's very real. Evie,
So if
I'm
someone
pretty
likes to
sure.
read the book and follow along whilst listening to the audiobook, they're going to be like, oh, no, that word wasn't in there. Oh, no, that one wasn't either.
yeah, exactly.
I'm pretty
Fuck
sure
you.
Audible kept trying to make me read Elon. No, not even read. Listen to Elon Musk's book. But I think I'm going to get Audible just for Evie's book now, because yeah,
Aw.
you know all those advertisements on YouTube. Read Elon Musk's book.
Yeah,
I want advertisements on YouTube saying read Evie Meg's books. That's what I want now.
it might
YouTube
happen.
really
It
wants
might
me
happen.
to do Tyson Furies for some reason. I don't know why. Does that sort of
That like
replicate who the type of person we are?
ads are getting smart, you know. I was about to say, what if they are just
Beans.
like listening to us and like seeing what we do? Harvey's really into boxing. I'm really into money,
Yeah,
rockets,
that's also
and
both those. I
Teslas.
mean, sure the thing about money, but like boxing, I
Fuck
know
you.
nothing about it.
No, me
I
neither.
know
Well, we
everything
tried
about
boxing.
space.
We
We
did
did
We
try
try
tried
boxing.
boxing.
boxing in the studio.
Yeah, that
That
didn't
was
really go well. You kind of
it's
tried
an
to kick me
experience.
in the bad regions, and that's not part of boxing. I think we should probably get on to you reading your selected section from the book. Are you all set to do that?
Yes, it's a very exciting bit because it's all about you guys.
Ah, I actually didn't know that. I didn't realize you were reading our section. That's cool.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I'm so bad at hearing things about myself. I'm gonna just be saying like,
It's all good things. It's all good things.
okay,
Our deepest, darkest secrets.
You ready? Beans.
I'm ready.
Then, in November 2020, I was contacted by two boys called Max and Harvey. Fuckers. Evie. I thought the names looked familiar. I thought the names looked familiar, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it. Evie! They had messaged me asking if I would like to be a guest on their podcast. Evie! That was when I realised they are great musicians and came second on a UK TV show called The X Factor. Evie! Celebrity in 2019, and are also presenters on CBBC, which is a popular British children's TV channel. Cunt! I checked out their social media and even had a quick Google, which seems so weird now. Evie! I of course said I would be honoured, so just before Christmas we recorded the podcast. Evie! Unfortunately, it had to be recorded online, since because of COVID-19 I couldn't travel to the studio. Cock! It makes me laugh thinking about the moment I was waiting for the meeting to start. Evie! I sat in the living room with an iPad in front of me, and my anxiety was building up, and I even thought about messaging them saying I couldn't do it. Fuck you! I'm so glad that I just got on with it because it led to such an amazing friendship. Evie! It was so lovely to meet them, and they seemed like such great characters. Fuck you. Woo! We chatted about school life and living with Tourette's, which is one of the main reasons I accepted their invitation. Because I'd do anything if it raised awareness of my condition. Cock. Evie! Woo! After the podcast came out, we started talking. Woo! After the podcast came out, we started talking regularly. Woo! And I got to know them more than I had when doing the recording with them. Fuck you. Wee! Fuck you. You realise straight away how fun they are to be around. Evie! We are now really great friends and have been doing live streams together online, which everyone seems to be loving so much. Max and Harvey are both equally... Shut up! Fuck you!
Sorry.
Max and Harvey are both equally so supportive of me. Evie! Right away they accepted me as I am and are always cheering me on. Evie! I'm so happy to have got to know them. Not. To my astonishment, I met the boys in person for the first time in April 2021. Cock! I had no clue they were coming. They had planned it with my mum behind my back. Fuck you. The surprise was overwhelming and I was speechless. Don't do that. Me and Mum were on a walk with Teddy when suddenly their loud voices echoed behind us. Evie! I knew those voices straight away. Bitch! Evie! We had a fantastic weekend together, filming videos, taking pictures, and just hanging out. Cunt. Both the boys were amazing with me and my Tourette's, just as I knew they would be. Fuck you. That weekend brought us even closer, and I'm pretty sure they are friends for life now. Disgusting.
Yay!
Disgusting.
Disgusting.
But yeah, I mean, and that is just lovely. It's amazing the fact that you've even let us be in the book. I was honestly shocked and surprised, but happy at the same time. And I think something else to pick up on as well is you were saying sort of how nervous you were before you came on the podcast, which it didn't come across that way. In all honesty, you really didn't. You seemed an absolute natural at it, and we were just having regular conversations. And then afterwards, when the podcast, it did really well. It was one of our best episodes of that series. Like, got such a good response. And then afterwards, when we did live streams, we were just doing live streams for an excuse to like talk to each other more. But again, people were just like loving those, and then you started clipping out little clips that got then millions of views on TikTok, which I don't think any of us expected that to happen, really.
No.
It's just really random situation, and I think it's literally just people sort of laughing and enjoying us all being great friends. Like it's not even like we're
Yeah.
going out of the way to make especially good content. It's just like a bit of a laugh, isn't it?
Whoa, we do try.
No, I mean, yeah, of course we try. Yeah, no, our content is always on the ball and like pre-planned and whatnot.
You know, when we recorded the podcast at Christmas, when we did the Zoom one, that was like the first time that I'd done something like that. Like, that was really early days for me.
I remember you saying, which is so
Yeah,
weird because again, when you texted me after to say I nearly, couldn't do that, by the way, I was like, oh well, great job for doing it anyway, not knowing that then, if you hadn't done it, we'd never been able to properly meet each other and all that sort of stuff. But
I
I'm glad it
know.
happened as always. And I also wanted
Same.
to ask, now that we've heard one part of your book, are there any other parts that sort of really mean a lot to you, or something that is the thing that you're most looking forward to people reading?
There's a lot of information about Tourette's in there, which I'm quite excited for people to read about, just because a lot of people still don't have a very clear idea of it, or there's a lot of stigma around it, and people don't often realize that they believe the stereotypes of Tourette's. So there's a lot in there about like the science behind Tourette's, because people don't really understand that either and what causes it. And the fact that every single tic in Tourette's falls into a category, because there's so many different types. So I've talked all about that in here. Um, but there's a lot about me as a person, which not like, because online I do mostly talk about Tourette's and my conditions. So it would be quite nice for my followers just to actually get to know me as a person a bit more.
For sure. And I've had a quick read through myself because you were ever so kind as to send us some books. And there's
Your
just some
mum.
really sort of personal, amazing moments that you've sort of been able to delve a lot deeper into. That you can't really do it in a short caption on social media, can you? You can only get
No.
that sort of depth when you're releasing your own book. And funnily enough, Evie, you are. So it's a great
And that
opportunity, and
that is
we're
you, by
so
the way,
excited
right?
for you.
For anyone who didn't know, that's you on the cover, yeah.
Yes, it is. Yeah,
Nah,
my
mate,
side
that's Bob
profile.
Ross, famous
Yeah.
artist and painter.
Fuck you. Yeah, that's me.
No, I really love the artwork, and also, are we allowed to talk
Mhm.
about this bit of the book as well? Because I thought that was quite cool.
Wait,
I
I
feel like
can't
you
see
should
it.
say
Move
it.
it up a bit.
Yeah, Harvey, you're not showing her.
I know it doesn't show quite as well because it's like my
Are you on
lighting's
about the
really bad, but
rainbow
I feel like
pages?
Evie would have wanted to. Evie would have
Oh,
wanted to say
yeah,
it.
no, I think you can talk about that. Yeah?
Yeah, do you do it? It's not my book.
Oh, right, yeah, sure.
Yeah, Evie, we know nothing.
Yeah, so we when we were going over the design of the book, I said first thing that I wanted it to be really colourful because I'm quite a colourful person. Eek! So I think the spine is absolutely the spine is absolutely beautiful. But we also went for, so on the pages there's like really subtle colours at the end. So each chapter is a different colour. So that when the book is closed, you can't really see in this light, but it's got like rainbow pages. Evie, Evie,
Also, can I
Evie.
just say I love the feeling of a hardback book in general. It's just a
I
very
love the
very
feeling of a
satisfying
hardback gift.
feeling. A good weapon, if you will. No, we'll not. Don't use them as weapons, everyone. Use them to
Fuck
read.
you.
And
It's a
we'll just
good
completely ignore what Evie just said.
What
So
did she
anyway,
say?
nothing. Moving swiftly on. What are you looking forward to? Obviously, now that you've got a book out, you're going to be able to go on a little book tour. Does that feel like a really good opportunity for you to get out and meet your fans? Are you excited for that?
Yeah, definitely. Because I've never done a meet and greet before. Because obviously, as a creator with like multiple illnesses, it's not the same as just other creators saying like, "Oh, let's do a meetup and stuff." Because my health is so unpredictable, and I've never really done anything like this before. But I'm
Mm.
really looking forward to meeting people and hopefully making some people smile. Evie.
That's great.
I'm
And
sure. I'm
and so
very
you
sure
are
you will.
you are actually doing some book signings, aren't you? So when and where are you doing those? I think you actually might be doing one before this interview comes out, but just say it anyway.
So I've got a one in Newcastle Waterstones on the 27th of October. And that one is at 12 o'clock, I believe. And then on the 29th of October, I have a book signing in Waterstones in Piccadilly, London at 6:30 p.m. Evie!
Which is near
Evie!
us. which we're very excited
Yes.
for. We'll be in the
Yes.
front of the queue with our books
Oh
ready to
yeah.
be signed.
Yeah, no,
We can
I
book.
bought another book, by the way. I've got this one, and I've also bought one that I'm waiting for currently. It's on pre-order, obviously, so it won't get here until the 28th, right?
Yes.
Which
Okay.
you can pre-order the books on Amazon, everyone, and then obviously now that they're out, you can buy them on Amazon and from various bookstores as well. I'm assuming dotted around the country. So make sure you head into
Oh
your
yeah.
local WH Smiths and Waterstones and see if they've got
Fuck
My
yeah.
Nonidentical Twin by Evie Meg. And if and if you head into your local Sainsbury's, they might have our book from 4 years ago.
Oh.
Because
Which, by the way,
that's where they've ended up.
did you even know about that, Evie?
What, that you've written a book?
What, written is a strong word.
Well,
Well, hang on,
I'm pretty sure
hang on. No, let's not go down that route. We did write it, but verbally.
I'm pretty sure that I went to, it was either a Sainsbury's or an Asda, and I'm pretty sure I saw it on the shelves like last year when I didn't even know you that well.
So don't get
That's
me wrong,
hilarious.
right? They did start out in WH Smiths and Waterstones, and it was amazing, and the book did really well. But then it gets to a certain point where it's like no one cares anymore. So whereas I'm sure with this book being much better and a much more interesting read is going to be in the bookstores for years to come. So
Anyway,
I'm
I hope
anyway.
so.
yeah, I've taken this down such a bad route, but I'm not
Yeah,
surprised I
like
have.
like we mentioned, obviously you've been writing this book for a very long time now. 8 months, is a big time, and it is in ways obviously very much informational about Tourette's and stuff like that. But it is also a bit of a diary in some ways as well. You've been writing about events that have been happening whilst you've been writing the book. Would
Yeah.
you say there were any like really challenging moments where, I don't know, maybe you even didn't want to continue writing the book, or you were just really struggling with anything at all?
Yeah, there was quite a lot of moments actually, which I haven't really talked about before because people don't like you feel like you should feel certain emotions when you're doing things, but there was times writing this book when I thought this is really, really difficult. There was even like physical sides to it. So while I was writing this book, I had to go and get my hand x-rayed because we thought I'd broken it from my Tourette's. And
Mm,
obviously you can imagine it became hard to type and things.
yeah.
So there was times like that when I felt like I was being held back a bit. Eep. Or like my hands would lock up or whatever, and then I couldn't use my keyboard, and it got really frustrating because I felt like I was behind schedule sometimes. But um, I actually did really well, and I hit every single deadline. So Can't-
I'm going to say that's one of the most impressive things about all of it is that even though you had so many sort of curveballs thrown at you throughout the process, it does go to show that even though this is already an inspirational book, there was another inspirational story behind writing the book. You inspire inspirations or something. I've honestly
oh,
confused
thank
myself,
you.
but yes,
Eh?
there's a lot of inspirationalness going on.
And I mean, one of the big questions, just based on inspiration at the moment, is this book is hopefully going to inspire thousands of people that could have similar conditions to you, or just could have different conditions that can relate to sort of what you're talking about and what you're going through. How do you hope this book will actually help those people?
Um, there's a few ways actually. So one of the main reasons I've got in one of the first pages, the sort of dedication page, that this book is for literally anyone who's ever felt like they were alone. So hopefully, when they read my journey, they'll feel less alone in theirs. Eat. Um, but there was also the sort of medical side to it that if somebody had symptoms similar to me, like I talk about FND in my book and all the different symptoms of it, maybe if someone has those symptoms, they might realize that might be what they have, or to go and mention it to their doctor. Eat. Um, and also, it took me 7 or 8 years to get diagnosed with Tourette syndrome, so maybe this will change that for somebody. Who knows? Evie, cock.
I think me and Max were
Talk face.
met at a stalemate just there. We were both allowing each other to speak, and neither of us chose to speak. So
I'm alternating, Harvey. I'm alternating on
yeah,
questions.
no,
You got this.
no, you did the right thing. That's on me. I guess my
Prolonged
last
eye
question
contact.
really about all of this.
Prolonged eye contact. Sorry. Do you want to start that again, Harvey?
It's a Bo
It's a
Burnham
smoking
joke.
Bo Burnham. But yeah,
Fuck.
my final question about this book, I guess, would be: have you enjoyed the experience, and what are you looking forward to afterwards? After the book comes out and everyone gets it, what's what you're thinking?
Yeah, no, I've had such a great time, and it's still really weird. I keep looking at it because it's just sitting there, and it's still really weird just to see it next to me. Um, and I just woo. Wait, what was the question again? Fuck you.
It's basically just what are you looking forward to most, almost as like the aftermath of the book coming out. Like what do you see in the future of this book, basically?
Um, well, I hope that like years down the line, it's still doing some good, and it's not just like because there really isn't any books about Tourette's like this out there, which was quite a scary thing. Because when I got my diagnosis of Tourette's, finally, I tried looking online for books about Tourette's in this way, and I literally didn't find anything that I was looking for. So hopefully this will be what someone else is looking for, and that years down the line it will still be having an impact. Evie, beans,
Yeah.
cockface.
I, I think because of your social media presence and everything that sort of a lot of people are learning more about Tourette's through TikTok, and there have been it's pretty much I can say majoritively positives, but then some people have managed to find some negatives in it and have given you a bit of a hard time on social media. But I think overall people are going to be curious and be inspired to learn more about whether it be Tourette's or just different conditions that you go through. And as I've said before, them being able to relate to some of those conditions, I think this is genuinely going to be an eye grabber in all of the bookstores of people going, do you know what? Yeah, I want to learn about this. There's really not many people out there teaching loads about this. Like there's been a few sort of TV programs, which is great. There's obviously you and a bunch of other great creators on social media, but a book
Yeah.
that has everything in it, and it's just like all you got to do is read the book. Guys, come on, it's hard. I know it's 2021, but you got to read a book at some
Yeah,
point.
but like you say as well, it's the first autobiographical. There you go, big word. Book about Tourette's, and people have seen loads and loads of social media stars and celebrities write books about themselves. To be quite honest, that are probably really boring. Us, not joking.
Fuck you.
but, but this is genuinely something that is really, really not only educational but also, I guess, fulfilling in a way, because you're actually learning something valuable about the person, which I think. Oh, I can stop talking if you want. I was just saying something nice, but that's fine.
No, keep going. It was lovely.
But yeah, no. So I think if people really do want to learn something, this is the place they're going to do that. Otherwise, I from what I've read so far, it is the most honest book that I've seen in a while.
Also, even if you don't for some reason want to learn about Tourette's, there's a page that teaches you how to draw mandalas. I'm upset. I'm going to be looking at that page and just learning how
Yeah,
to
there
draw
are
mandalas.
pages where you
Mandalas are
can.
cool.
They are, yeah. I have included 2 special pages where you can like color in mandalas, which I've included. I would recommend using pencils, by the way, just because of the type of paper that it is, so you don't smudge anything. Evie,
Well, there you
Evie
go. It's
May.
Nice
literally got
paper, people.
Yeah, it is. Fuck you all.
Yeah, I want to try and find it now because I want to do it later. Hang on, where is it? Do you know what page it's on? Oh, I found it. Hang on. Wait.
I think it was in like the pink section, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. Where has it
204 and
gone? Where's it gone?
205.
Oh, I've gone past it. One idiot.
Mm.
Found them. Oh yeah, no, these are sick.
Beans.
Okay. Well, I'm going to spend the rest of my day colouring these. So I don't know if you guys are
only
here
people
and
with
watching.
the book only people with the book get to color in the mandalas. So just a little recap once again. If you want this book, you can get it either from Amazon, which is potentially in these sort of post-pandemic times the easiest way to get it, or you can head into different WH Smiths and Waterstones across the country. And if you want to actually see Evie and potentially get yourself a signed copy, you can see her. Go on, you repeat it, Evie, just so I don't get it wrong.
The 27th of October, I will be in Newcastle, the Newcastle Waterstones at 12 o'clock. Evie! And on the 29th of October, I will be in the Waterstones in Piccadilly, London at 6:30 p.m. Evie!
Amazing
You
stuff.
heard
Well,
it.
we
You
are
heard
very
it
much looking
here.
forward. We both did it.
Woo!
We did the thing. The delay. Oh no. Well, anyway, we are very much looking forward to seeing the book coming out and seeing everyone get their copies. Thank you very much, Evie, for taking the time to talk to us about your book. And for
Of
anyone else who's
course.
watching right now, make sure you go and get it, buy it, or love the one that you've already got. Just do it.
Yeah. Fuck you.